Anya is a high school girl and Russian immigrant who is chock full of insecurities and struggling to fit in. Everything changes one day when she falls into a deep well and finds herself trapped along with some skeletal remains and their ghost. Anya befriends this ghost, a girl her age who died 100 years ago. After escaping the well, Anya's life improves drastically with the help of her new pal. That is, until the ghost girl starts getting a little too controlling and obsessive about Anya's love life. This is a charming and spooky coming of age story until things take a dark turn. This is Anya's Ghost. Hello friends, this is Grief speaking, and this week we're going to be going through Anya's Ghost. This comic is not really a horror comic, and it's not even that scary, but it is one of those comics that just seems unavoidable. Not only is it loved by critics and comic book lovers alike, but I've gotten dozens of comments and even some emails requesting that I cover it. So while it's not as disturbing as some of the usual twisted stuff I cover, it does have a ghost, and that's close enough to horror for me. Honestly, this is just a great story. Sometimes it's hilarious, sometimes it's heart-wrenching, and it does have its fair share of spooky moments as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. This is Anya's Ghost Explained. Anya walks into the kitchen in the morning to find her mother making serniki, a traditional Russian pancake-like dish. Sounds pretty good to me, but Anya thinks they're too greasy and would prefer something low-fat. There's a funny exchange where her mother says there's nothing wrong with being a little fat. Back in Russia, being fat meant you were a rich man. And Anya says, yeah, I don't think American boys really go for girls that look like rich men. She heads off to school, and when she arrives at the bus stop, she sees a cute guy waving her direction. She waves back until she realizes that he wasn't waving at her, he was waving at his girlfriend, a tall blonde. Anya's obviously embarrassed, and her friend Shobin makes it worse by asking her why she's not walking with her boyfriend today. She's referring to a nerdy kid named Dima who's also from Russia. Anya's clearly annoyed, and Shobin asks if she can bum a cigarette from her. They get into a little tiff when Anya refuses, and Shobin storms off. At the same time, Anya's crush and his girlfriend start making out, and the whole situation just pisses her off. Instead of taking the bus to school, she storms off into a nearby park, stewing on all the irritations of the day. Her mother's cooking, Shobin's pestering, and the kissing couple. She's clearly distracted and accidentally walks into a large hole in the ground. It's surprisingly deep, and next thing she knows, she hits the bottom with a thud. She's alright for the most part, other than a sprained wrist, but it seems that she's fallen into a deep well. She lights a match to get a look around and finds a skeleton just a few feet from her. After a moment of shock, she starts screaming at the top of her lungs, but no one's around to hear her. Stressed out, she stops for a minute to have a smoke. As she puffs away, she suddenly sees something through the haze. A translucent girl sitting on the nearby bones. Anya asks if she's been down here the whole time, and the ghost says, in a manner of speaking, she has been down here the whole time, and quite a bit of other time as well. Well, that's a funny way to put it. Anya realizes she's speaking to a ghost and goes into a full panic, assuming there's some kind of gas down here causing her to hallucinate. The ghost says she doesn't think so. She was down here a long time before she died and didn't hallucinate anything. Anya just starts screaming again for help, to no avail. Finally, she asks the girl how long she's been down here. We learn that she fell down the well 90 years ago, but no one ever found her. She could hear them calling for her above, but couldn't reply because, as she puts it, she landed wrong. Looking at her skeleton, it's apparent that she broke her neck on the fall, and although she was conscious, she couldn't move or speak. Well, that's a disturbing way to go. Anya remembers she had food packed in her bag and hopes it'll be enough to last till she can escape. The girl asks her to stay a while. There hasn't been anyone but her for so long, and she would finally have someone to talk to. But Anya plans on getting the hell out of here as soon as someone walks through the area. She tries screaming out again, but nothing. After a while, she can see the night sky above, and it's gotten a little chilly. The ghost asks her about her clothes and whether everyone dresses that way now. Anya then gets an idea. Maybe the ghost could fly up out of the well and get someone's attention, but I guess her spirit can't go very far from her bones. Anya has another cigarette and seems to be losing hope. The next day, a punk comes waltzing through the area and throws a soda can down the well. The ghost notices this and wakes Anya up, telling her to yell. She cries out just in time to get the guy's attention before he gets too far away. He looks into the hole and Anya tells him to please go get some help and that she's hurt. The guy can't see her clearly and asks if she's a hot chick because she sounds kind of hot. Anya looks beyond annoyed and replies that she's incredibly hot, he can't even imagine. This puts some pep in his step and he runs off to get some help. Anya starts gathering her stuff, excited to finally get out of here. She looks over to see that the ghost looks pretty sad. Anya's like, look, I'm not going to solve your murder or whatever so you can rest in peace. That's not my scene, but I'll make sure someone buries your bones hands or something. Just then, the punk returns with a couple of friends and a rope. Anya ties it around her waist and the guys start pulling her out. As she ascends, she looks down at the sad ghost girl looking up at her. We skip ahead a couple of days, and Anya is pleading with her mother to let her stay home from school one more day on account of her sprained wrist. But remember, this is a tough chick from the old country. She tells Anya she's going, and reminds her that she's left-handed, so she'll be fine. Anya stomps up to her room, rudely ignoring her little brother along the way. She thumps her head into her pillow, and before she knows it, it's morning. She arrives at school in a bad mood already, and it's made worse when she realizes her first class is economics, which she finds boring as all hell. As she falls asleep in class, Shobin peeks up through the window and convinces her to come have a smoke with her. She sneaks out the window and they go to the women's room. Shobin asks her how awesome it was being trapped in the well, and Anya explains why it wasn't awesome at all, mainly because of the skeleton sitting next to her. Of course, Shobin thinks that's even cooler and suggests that maybe the well was haunted. Anya looks uncomfortable and dismisses the idea, remembering the very real ghost she encountered. Shobin has to head back to class and Anya finishes her cigarette. She looks at herself in the mirror and hopes she doesn't end up looking like her mom when she's older. In the reflection, she notices something peeking up from behind the stall. It's none other than the ghost. After a bit of a scare, Anya asks her what we're all wondering. How did she leave the well? Well, if you remember, she has to be near her bones, and I guess Anya accidentally put one in her bag. She looks around and finds that, yep, she was carrying around the ghost's pinky finger in her bag this whole time. The ghost girl's pretty hyped on finally getting out of the well, but Anya's not so pleased. She doesn't want a ghost following her around high school. Just then, the bell rings, and Anya remembers that she has a big biology test today, and she didn't bother studying for it because she was hoping she'd still be home. In a rush, she tells the ghost to hide in her bag and heads to class. After the test starts, the ghost floats out of Anya's bag, though she's really small, and at the side of her, Anya stands up and slaps her hand over her, which draws the attention of the entire class. She just plays it off like she was killing a bug. After she sits back down, the ghost starts talking to her, but Anya is pissed and demands she get back in the bag. This commotion is noticed once again by the teacher, who tells her to try and remember her notes in her head rather than out loud. On top of that, the teacher can't quite pronounce her last name, Borzakovskaya, which embarrasses her even more. After this, she finally gets to the test and she's screwed. While she struggles to answer, the tiny ghost girl floats around, covertly looking at some of the other students' papers. She then relays what she saw to Anya. For the first time, Anya's actually glad to have a ghost in her bag, and with the Phantom's help, she finishes the test easily. The nerdy kid, Dima, announces to the teacher that he finished early and would help collect papers if she needed it. All the other kids look annoyed at him, and Anya says he's gonna get pounded later. It cuts ahead, and sure enough, Dima is getting bullied at lunch. The ghost girl points out that Dima and Anya are both Russian, so why isn't Anya backing him up? In her time, your people stuck together and defended each other. Anya tells her times have changed. If you act like a fobby creep, you get creamed. She explains to the ghost that fobby is short for fresh off the boat. All of a sudden, Shobin runs into the lunchroom and informs Anya that it's bleep test day in gym. They usually try and skip the bleep test, but they were caught. The gym teacher reminds everyone how it works. They run back and forth across the gym in time to a sound or bleep. The bleeps get faster, and so you must run faster until you reach your physical limit. Anya thinks the gym teacher just likes watching them run around in skirts. She looks over at the apparently perfect Elizabeth, the blonde we saw earlier, jealous of how well she does in gym. Anya and another girl come up with a plan to pretend to fall halfway through the test, and as they plan, Elizabeth's boyfriend Sean, Anya's crush, comes into the gym to watch, making the whole situation much worse. The buzzer sounds and they all take off. Anya's friend sticks to the plan and falls to the ground, but probably because of Sean watching, Anya keeps on running. She actually does pretty well, outrunning some of the other girls, but she gets distracted looking at Sean and trips on her own 2 feet, falling face first into the floor. Even worse, her butt is sticking up in the air and everyone can see her underwear. Elizabeth stops to help her up and Anya is mortified. Afterwards, she changes in the locker room and the ghost girl asks her if there was something she could have done to help. Unfortunately, you can't cheat at gym. While they talk, Sean comes out from behind her and surprisingly starts up a friendly conversation. Assuming it was fake, he tells her that fall she took was bitchin'. They introduce themselves properly, although Anya is still embarrassed of her long-ass Russian surname and calls herself Anya Brown instead. Then Elizabeth shows up and her and Sean walk off together. On the bus home, a girl says, "Hey Anya, I heard about your nice moves in gym today." But Shobin backs up her friend and says, "Hey Katie, I heard about your nice moves in the boys' bathroom today." Nice. Lost in thought about her interaction with Sean, Anya passes the park on the way home, forgetting to bring the ghost bone back to the well. Back at home, Anya's mom is about to take the US citizenship test and needs help being quizzed. It's a pretty fun scene that I can't do justice explaining, but her mother thinks Ben Franklin was a president. Later, upstairs, Anya's chilling out listening to music when the ghost girl comes out and asks her if it's okay if she stays a little longer, even offering to keep helping her at school. After a moment of thought, Anya agrees. She has finals coming up after all. The ghost gets super excited to see more of this future world. The next day of school, Anya describes with one sentence: ghosts are awesome. The ghost helps her cheat on another test, keeps watch while Anya has a smoke, and even gets into the school files to figure out Sean's schedule for stalking purposes. Having a ghost pal isn't too shabby, it seems. Anya says how great it is having the ghost around when she's interrupted by Dima in the hall. He wonders if she'll be in church on Sunday since he hasn't seen her in 3 months, and she says maybe. After this interaction, she chats with the ghost again, only to be interrupted this time by Shobin, who wonders who she's talking to. She pretends she was just on the phone and they walk home together after school. Anya's on the lookout for Sean and Shobin catches her acting weird, so Anya tells her about the crush. Shobin ribs her for a bit, saying he's the type of guy you're supposed to have a crush on in a bad teen movie. Back at home, Anya finds that her necklace was buried in the yard by her brother. She storms in the house cussing about it and her mother says don't swear in front of Jesus. Behind her on the wall we can see one of the classic Orthodox icons, although cartoonified. Up in her room, Anya's pissed off, ranting about her annoying brother, and the ghost says back in her day, children who misbehaved got beaten by canes. Anya thanks her for all the help today, and the ghost asks her more about Sean, wondering if she loves him. She says not really, but he is cute. The ghost then says that she was in love once. She explains that she was going to get married, but he had to go to war and was killed in a German raid. Anya feels bad for being kind of a jerk to the ghost and realizes she doesn't even know her name. So we finally learn that her name is Emily Riley, which is nice because I don't have to keep calling her Ghost Girl. Anya asks her how she ended up in the well in the first place, and Emily tells her she was murdered. Her parents and her lived in a farmhouse not too far from the woods. They were generous, religious people who would offer a bed in the barn to anyone passing through the area. A man came in the spring who seemed like a good Christian, but one night Emily woke up and came downstairs to find that he had murdered her parents. She screamed and ran through the woods as the killer pursued her, but right before he caught her, she fell down the well, and she doesn't think he was ever caught. Anya says that that might be the saddest thing she's ever heard, and offers to help solve her murder by finding out what happened to the guy. That way, she might be able to rest in peace. The next morning, Anya's brother wakes her up for church, but she ignores him. Next, her mother comes in and says everyone's worried about her. Obviously making up an excuse, she tells her mom that she just got her period, and whether she believes it or not, her mother leaves without her. Once they head out, Anya gets up excited and takes Emily on a walk. She asks Anya why she didn't want to go to church, and she says that she wouldn't mind it so much if it was a normal church, but Orthodox church is weird. Long, boring, and full of Russians, including Dima. She says that her mother wants her and Dima to be best friends. His mom convinced Anya's to send her to the same prep school so he'd have a friend. Kinda sad, actually. Well, Anya says it's not fair. She got bullied for years for talking funny, but she worked hard to lose her accent. School's hard enough without Dima hanging around her like a handicap. Emily tells her that as far as she's concerned, Anya seems to fit in pretty well overall. It is way more interesting than Elizabeth. Later, Emily looks through some modern teen magazines and is shocked at what the girls are wearing. Of course, Anya has to turn the pages for her since she can't physically touch things, and asks Emily what she's learned about the world so far. She says that there's a serious and ongoing crisis in the Middle East and that her body type is a ruler. Yeah, she's definitely got a variety of source material. Then Anya shows her something she's been working on. She's made Emily's pinky bone into a necklace so she doesn't have to shove her into a bag. The next day at school, Shobin can't figure out how Anya knew exactly the right way to sneak off and have a smoke, avoiding the headmaster. This is because Emily can keep a lookout. They spot Elizabeth looking perfect as always, and Anya talks about how much she hates her, mostly because she happens to be dating Anya's dream boy. Shobin doesn't understand what she sees in Sean and says that her brother told her he was kind of a dirtbag. Anya gets defensive and snippy with her and says that she wants encouragement from friends instead of them making her feel like crap. Shobin points out she's just trying to make sure she doesn't get hurt, but they blow up at each other and Anya storms off. As she walks away in a huff, she bumps into Sean. They start an awkward conversation. Meanwhile, Emily sneaks into his backpack and finds a flyer for a party. She tells Anya to mention it and pretend she knows the guy throwing it. Next, Emily has Anya ask Sean for a ride. He agrees, saying him and Elizabeth will pick her up. After this, Anya tells Emily she's the best friend in the world. Later, after a daydream about Sean, Anya is freaking out about what to wear to the party. Emily picks an outfit for her, but it's a little skimpy for Anya's taste. Emily says, "You want Sean to notice you, don't you? So wear it." Man, she's getting really pushy. Sean and Elizabeth show up and she sneaks out to their car. They roll up to the party and Anya is quickly feeling a little out of place. Some random guy starts talking to her, and then like a creep, he tells her boobs look good in her shirt. After a while of sitting around by herself, she tracks down Elizabeth, who seems like she's standing guard outside of a door. Anya asks her where Sean is, and she says that he's helping his friend Preston, who's had too much to drink. The only thing is, Preston was just downstairs. In fact, it's the same guy who made the lewd comment. Sean hears them talking and comes out from inside, telling Anya how much he likes her shirt. She asks him how Preston is, and he looks confused. After some audible giggles coming from the room, it's clear that there's a girl in there, and it's someone else's girlfriend. Sean finally cuts the act and admits that he does have a girl in the room, and then this sleazebag asks Anya to join them. This is on top of the fact that his girlfriend Elizabeth is listening to all of this. Anya rejects him, and he tells her, well, she knows where to find him, then goes back inside, asking Elizabeth for more of a heads up next time. After an awkward silence, Anya can't help but ask why she would go along with this, and Elizabeth says that they've been together for 3 years. She loves him. Sure, he gets bad at parties sometimes, but at the end of the day, she's his girlfriend. Geez, not only was Shobin right about Sean, but apparently the perfect Elizabeth is all kinds of up. Anya leaves the party and starts walking home when Emily comes out and confronts her, asking her what the hell is wrong with her. She can't wrap her head around why Anya would leave when she was that close to Sean. Anya points out that Sean is a total creep, plus there was another girl in the room. Why would she stay? Emily looks pissed off, saying that Anya could have gotten rid of the girl. All of her hard work is now ruined. Anya wonders what exactly she wants from all this, and Emily says she just wants her to be happy. She's in love with Sean. She should be with him. She continues saying she knows what it's like to love someone and then lose them. Anya reminds her that Sean isn't dead in World War I. He's upstairs making out with a girl, and there's a big difference. It's getting late and they just head home after this. Anya wakes up the next morning and finds that Emily's hair is different. It's less disheveled and looks neatly brushed. Emily starts immediately picking out an outfit for Anya to go see Sean in. Anya asks her why would she want to do that, and Emily gets frustrated, saying so he doesn't forget about you. She says again that Anya and Sean are in love and that they're going to be together forever. Right, it seems like Emily may be living vicariously through Anya, and it's gotten a little out of hand. She says that without her, Anya would still be that weird girl who fell on her ass at gym. Anya is understandably weirded out by Emily's behavior, but just changes the subject, suggesting that today they get to work on solving Emily's murder. However, Emily says she doesn't want to yet. She's finally making progress getting what they want, and imagine how great college will be. The next day, Anya gets ready for school and covertly leaves the bone necklace behind. As she walks out of her bedroom door, Emily confronts her about leaving it, and she's smoking a ghost cigarette? Weird. Anya says she just thought she'd go alone today. She needs to get some studying done anyway. She heads out and Emily doesn't look too happy. Instead of going to school, Anya takes a bus downtown to the public library to try and find out what happened to Emily and her killer. She tells the librarian she's doing a report and is looking for info on the town around the First World War. The lady points out the periodicals and she finds dozens of shelves full of newspapers, making her wish she could just use Google for this. Turns out that Dima is nearby and offers to help her. I guess he's allowed to come here instead of gym class because the other kids kept breaking his glasses and he can't afford to keep fixing them. Well, that's sad. He asks Anya if she's tried microfilm and she has no idea what he's talking about. So Dima shows her how it works and the two get to searching. She tells Dima to look for anything about an Emily Riley and murders in the spring of 1918. While they look, Dima opens up to Anya, asking her how it's so easy for her to fit in, considering that he's constantly harassed. At first, Anya basically says, tough luck, you're a nerdy foreign kid. But she feels bad immediately and tries to relate to him, telling him about how she was bullied too when she first got here. Dima can't believe it because he thinks she's so cool. She tells him not to worry about the bullies anyway. Impressing a bunch of snooty teenagers is a lame goal. Look at that smile on Dima's face. It's a sweet moment, you have to admit. After a while, Dima does find something regarding Emily Riley, but it's not about her being murdered, it's about her being a murderer. Anya takes a look and sure enough, she sees Emily's disturbed picture with with the headline, "Local Girl Missing After Double Murder." Next to it are 2 more photos of a young man and woman. As Anya reads more, we get a flashback showing what really happened to Emily. We can see her peering through a window at the man and woman who are clearly in love. With tears in her eyes, she blocks the door and throws a match into the nearby grass, lighting the house on fire and burning the couple alive inside. A mob forms and searches everywhere for her. After reading about all of this, Anya is in shock. Emily had lied about everything. She decides she's gonna have to go and heads back home in a huff. She enters her room and finds that the bone is missing. Emily appears smoking again and looking demented, and Anya asks her if she's seen the necklace. Emily says maybe you should have worn it, then you wouldn't have lost it. After a heated exchange, Anya almost confronts Emily about what she learned, but Emily cuts her off to show her a new trick. She reaches down and manages to pick up an earring on Anya's desk. It appears that with some effort, Emily can now move things. Anya realizes that Emily must have hidden the necklace, and Emily even implies that she put the bone in Anya's bag to begin with. Anya finally tells her what she learned, that she killed her unrequited love and his girlfriend. Emily defends herself, saying that he had called her ugly and broke her heart, and that Anya of all people should understand that. Well, Anya happens to think that murder is not an appropriate response to disappointment. Emily says yeah, she made some mistakes, but she wants to make it right by giving her the life that she always wanted. Anya's not interested in the life that Emily wanted, or her taste in men. She demands that Emily give her the bone back, but she refuses, saying she'll not go back into the dark. She says that she'll give Anya more time to think it over and to realize that things are much better when she's on her side. Anya reminds herself that Emily can't go too far from the bone, so it must be somewhere in the house. After a while of searching, Anya goes downstairs and talks to her mother, who mentions that the school told her about Anya's big grade improvements, obviously a result of the cheating. As her mother cuts up some ingredients for dinner, Emily suddenly appears in the kitchen and cranks up the gas on the stove. Anya warns her mother, who's glad she noticed, saying she could have burned the whole house down. So now it seems Emily is straight up threatening to kill Anya's family. After this, Anya begins frantically searching for the bone around the kitchen. Dinner's almost ready, and Emily appears under the sink with her finger to her mouth. Anya then finds that a box of rat poison is laying empty. Realizing that Emily is attempting to poison her family, she rushes over and grabs the food, then pretends to slip and drop it all over the floor. That was the last of the meat, so Anya encourages her mother to order pizza instead. While she does, Emily appears again and points at her mother as if threatening to take her out first. Damn, this got really dark. Anya continues to search through the house, but still can't find the bone down to the last closet. She suddenly hears a loud crash and her mother cry out in pain. She runs out to find her mother had slipped on the stairs and has possibly broken her foot. Her little brother's marbles are all over the stairs. Anya quickly realizes this wasn't his doing, but Emily's. She offers to take her mom to the hospital, but remember, this is a tough lady from the old country. She says that she'll take a cab so Anya can stay here and watch her brother. It's nighttime at this point, and Anya is nervously smoking a cigarette, looking at a checklist of every possible room, and it looks like they've all been searched. She stops for a second and looks disgusted at the cigarette, putting it down. Maybe seeing Emily smoke made it a lot less cool. Just then, she hears her brother cry out from his room, and Anya runs in to find Emily floating over his bed and whispering terrible things in his ear. The poor kid has tears streaming down his face, so who knows what she's telling him. Not that an evil ghost floating above your head isn't enough reason for a little kid to cry. Anya yells at Emily to get off him, and she flies away. The poor kid's a mess, and Anya does her best to comfort him. While she does, she rants about how this is all her fault. She says she just needs to find that bone somewhere, and her little brother perks up, saying he actually found a bone in the hallway earlier, and he put it in his specimen box downstairs. They rush down to get it and find Emily trying her best to pick it up first. Anya just reaches through her hands and grabs it. She tells her brother to get back to his room and runs outside, going straight for the woods and the well. Emily chases behind her, saying she's going to kill her, but Anya stays a step ahead. As she approaches the tunnel by the woods, Emily rages out and increases her size until she's massive and her giant hands are inches from Anya. Finally, she finds the hole, and as she does, she turns on the spot and screams out at Emily, telling her to stop. She holds the bone in her hand right above the hole, threatening to drop it. Emily says she wasn't really going to kill her family, she just wanted Anya's attention. But Anya says she doesn't need Emily to make her life better, and in fact, she needs Anya. She wants her to dress up and chase boys because Emily never got to, but she she refuses to live her life for her. At this point, Emily is a little less aggressive and even asks Anya to maybe give the bone to one of her friends like Shobin. Anya says she wouldn't give Emily to her worst enemies. Emily then accuses Anya of being selfish and says that if she really cared about Shobin, how come she hasn't talked to her in weeks? And if she loved her family so much, why does she lie about her last name? She even suggests that Anya is no different than her and would do the same things if she had the chance. This sets Anya off and she starts to move toward the hole again. Emily threatens her, saying she'll get another bone and make her way back up to Anya's house to get revenge. Anya doesn't buy it and says it doesn't matter because she's going to tell someone and get the well filled in. This enrages Emily again and she straight up charges at Anya, phasing through her stomach. It looks like an uncomfortable feeling, but it doesn't stop Anya and she drops the bone into the well. Emily screams out trying to fight it, but is ultimately dragged back into the well. There's a moment of quiet as Anya looks down into the dark well. She begins to walk away when something grabs her ankle. Looking down, she sees Emily has possessed her own skeleton and it's climbing out of the well. Anya kicks her foot loose and moves back, but Emily stands up looking pretty freaky as the bones glow. Anya starts to run away but stops. She confronts Emily, confessing that she may not be exactly like her, but she's enough like her to understand how she feels, envious of others and wondering how they have it so easy. But Emily needs to learn that you never really know what's going on in someone else's head. How does she know the girl she killed wasn't even more messed up than her, or the boy for that matter? No one has the right to decide who lives or dies. It's pretty clear that Emily can barely even stand in this form. It seems like Anya's words hit home and she looks up with tears in her eyes. Then she lets out a long sigh and falls backward, sending her skeleton into the well. We then get a time jump to the well being filled in by the school's public safety group. The guy in charge approaches Anya and has a hard time pronouncing her last name. This time she proudly says it and he thanks her for telling them about the hole. She says she didn't want anyone else to go through what she did, and the man likes her attitude, even suggesting to see her in the student election coming up. Afterwards, she has a seat on a log in the woods and Shobin finds her. Anya apologizes for not talking to her and she says it's no big deal. She offers Anya a smoke, but she refuses, saying she doesn't know if she ever really liked them and it doesn't look as cool as she thought it did. Shobin tells Anya that she may look normal on the outside, but she's not on the inside. Anya takes it as a compliment and we get a beautiful zoom out as the comic comes to an end. So there you have it, Anya's Ghost. There's a lot of interesting things you can take from this comic, but the thing that stood out to me the most is a lesson in judgment. You really don't know what's going on in someone else's life. Anya thought that Elizabeth was perfect and found out she was miserable and in a really jacked up relationship. On the other hand, Anya thought her life sucked and saw herself as horribly flawed, but from Dima's perspective, she was the cool one who had it easy. You just never know what's going on in someone's head. I highly recommend you all go buy a copy of Anya's Ghost at your local bookstore. One of the things that's completely lost in an overview video like this is the humor. This comic is genuinely funny, but what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, as well as anything else you'd like me to do a deep dive on. Shout out to Kill Me Katie as always for the intro and outro music, which is likely playing right now. And if you want to see your art at the end of my videos, email me a submission to the address below with a name or social media handle. But I appreciate you guys watching at all. This is Grease speaking. Goodbye, friends.